Hello, welcome back to my baking channel. I'm Nikki and today I'm going to share with you my favorite croissant recipe. I'm not using any special tools except my mixer and a rolling pin for this recipe. So the dough is very special. It's kind of a puff pastry but with less butter, and it also contains yeast. And this is going to create those layer bubble effects that you see when you cut into a croissant. Most of the store-bought croissants are soft and it's kind of like a bread type of pastry instead of a real French croissant, which is a bit hard on the outside and it's really crispy if you bite into it. So this is kind of what I wanted to achieve. While I was searching for different recipes and as I was trying them, I realized a few tips and tricks. So today I'm sharing them with you. The first thing is there's a lot of butter in a croissant. I'm using the best I could find in my grocery store, my local grocery store, and this is Kerrygold butter. And I chose this because it has a high fat and protein content with respect to other types of butter. And also one quick test that you can do is just smelling it is quite important for the actual taste of the croissant. You want it to smell good and you want it to taste good as well. And because we're going to be doing this lamination between dough and butter, then you want to make sure you get really good butter. This is the best I could find, and yeah, it's actually really tasty in the end. I'm very happy with this butter. I use it for most of my baking actually, and that's that. The second thing I wanted to talk about, which I particularly found a bit shocking, was how to handle the dough in terms of the temperature. You want to make sure that the dough is never too warm because you don't want the yeast to develop early in the process. And this is confusing to me because whenever I use yeast-based doughs, it's usually something that requires everything to be at room temperature, everything to be lukewarm. But this is really not what you want in the croissant. So that's a tip right there. Just make everything is cool when you're working with it. Make sure to not overmix the dough because you don't want the early development of the yeast. So the overall process of a croissant can take from 2 days to 3 days. I try to optimize it in 2 days so you can start the day before you actually want to eat them. So my main goal for this video was to make a croissant that was as close as it gets to a French patisserie croissant, but that was something that you could make at home and it wouldn't take 3 days to make. So there is a lot of work in this recipe and it does take some time, but there's a lot of waiting around in between. So it's actually not that much work to do it, but it can get technical, especially in the folding process. But it's so worth it to get a fresh croissant that you've made yourself and you can have straight out of the oven. And I'm very happy with the final product, so I decided to share it with you. And I hope you like it. So let me know in the comments what you think. If you tried it, I would be so happy to get your feedback on the recipe or any of the steps. And I'll leave you to the video now. Check it out.